Hello, I am Fenrir, and today we will be discussing about whether kids can be transgender or not. Now, as a disclaimer, I am not transphobic, even though I do think it is a mental disorder. I don't go out of my way discriminating against those who call themselves transgender. Now that that is out of the way, let's get into the topic. Now, I firmly believe that kids cannot be transgender or gender fluid or whatever bullcrap the LGBT community comes up with next. And this is simply because children are not able to make these kinds of decisions, as they do not think of the consequences of their actions and do not even have their own perspective on reality yet. In recent years, gender dysphoria cases have more than quadrupled in the UK. But why is this? It is most likely due to parents either telling their kids they are trans because of the clothes they want to wear, which in itself is sexist and contradictory to their transgender beliefs, or their parents are forcing their idiotic lifestyle onto their kids and are putting words into their heads, which I personally believe is a form of mental abuse, as the kid does not know any better or how to think for themselves. According to Professor John Whitehall, the number of gender dysphoria cases in Australia are skyrocketing, and he believes that the current numbers are too high to be real cases of gender dysphoria, and that most of the children are not actually suffering from it, which suggests that most cases are probably due to parents putting words into their kids' heads and overreacting to the way their kids are behaving. Currently, Australian law states that kids need to wait until they are the age of 16 before they can undertake hormone replacement therapy and need court approval. Now, this seems fair in every aspect of the word, as at 16 you can usually think for yourself and can consider the possible outcomes of your actions. However, one boy in Australia who was diagnosed with gender dysphoria at the age of 12 managed to work around this because his mum started to give him her estrogen medication at the age of 13. Now, as stupid as this sounds, some of the blame can be put on the doctor for a misdiagnosis, as it turns out he was just going through a phase, as when he was 14 he changed his mind. However, by this point the physical changes had already begun and his life was never going to be normal. But for the mum to put all the blame on the doctors is just ludicrous, as she was the one illegally giving him her medication.
Ali wants to warn other parents what can go wrong when doctors misdiagnose a child as transgender.
They were wrong to pigeonhole him so quickly. I think they should have said, here we have a child who does have gender dysphoria and he's going through a period of transition where he needs to work out exactly how he feels.
Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. You overreacted. He is a teenager. He does not... I know what it's like being a teenager. I am currently a teenager, and I change my decision on things all the time. You can't just take your word for it, especially on something as big and life-changing as this.
Puberty hits, bodies change, boys get hairier,
Yeah,
voices deepen. Were you scared of that happening?
yeah. In the shower, I'd just get out the shower and walk past the mirror. I wouldn't really look at myself because it would just upset me.
Were you getting depressed?
Yeah, I would just kind of wonder if I really needed to be alive.
Well, we put away the knives in our house. I slept on the floor next to his bed in the room. You become very worried about what's going to happen to a child in the night. He would have panic attacks.
What was he saying to you?
He said that if he couldn't get on the puberty blockers, that he would either run away and find a way to get them himself or kill himself.
This just perfectly shows that the point that most trans people do suffer from depression and have suicidal thoughts. They do have the highest suicide rate on the planet out of every other person. And this is just evidence of that. So, thanks for helping me prove a point.
It's what Ali did next that's alarming. Australian law currently says kids need to wait until they're 16 and have court approval to begin hormone replacement therapy.
How many cookies is that going to
But Ali allowed Patrick to take her own estrogen medication from the age of just 13.
And yet she insists that it's the doctor's fault and not hers.
But earlier this year, Patrick, now 14, stunned his family with a dramatic decision.
He wasn't sleeping, and I said to him, are you anxious about something? Is something on your mind? And he just looked me in the eye and said, I'm just not sure that I am a girl.
I'm not sure I understand. Like, one minute you're really convinced you're a girl,
Yeah.
and then you think, well, I'm happier being male.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happened?
I guess I just realized that I could be happy without completely changing who I am.
Oh my god, it's like he changed his mind or something. Who could have thought that could have happened? Oh my god, it's such a revelation. How could this have happened? Oh yes, everyone changes their minds every day on everything. Fucking idiots. Now, a reason why I think being transgender is a mental disorder is because these people suffer from depression and have the highest suicide rates on the planet. And as it states in the documentary, the boy threatened to kill himself if he couldn't get the estrogen medication. Now, this is why doctors should really avoid diagnosing children with gender dysphoria, as most children who are supposedly suffering from this are just going through a phase, which they will eventually grow out of, and this is why there are laws in place to stop them from making any actions that will affect them for the rest of their lives. I say, just let kids be kids. If they like to play dress up and wear the clothes of the opposite sex, which is generally something kids do, it does not mean they have gender identity disorder. It means that they are kids being kids, and if you use them to push your political views, you should have your kids taken off you for mental abuse. But that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Any relevant links will be in the description. I recommend you check them out to fully understand everything I have talked about in this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and join the Wolfpack today.